both in the 80s and the 90s, and also this law, knew that that promise was not going to be able to be kept as the president made it. And in fact, in 2010, you might remember President Obama had that big health care summit across the street from the White House at Blair House. All the Republicans came, Democrats came. And here's an interesting exchange from 2010.
Between 8 million and 9 million people may very well lose the coverage that they have because of this, because of the construct of this bill. That's our concern.
The 8 to 9 million people that you refer to that might have to change their coverage, keep in mind out of the 300 million Americans that we're talking about, would be folks who the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, estimates would find the deal in the exchange better. Would be a better deal.
That's what we're now talking about. Those 8 or 9 million Americans who, now the question is whether or not the deal is better. The question is not, the question is whether they can afford the deal with the subsidies that some of them are eligible for, and also whether they can get on the website to see the deal. But this is not a real secret. So when President Obama, came to the realization this week that, it wasn't true, he knew it wasn't true back then.
And also with their choice of doctors and plans, people were limited. But I think both of you actually have indicated something that's important, which is that the apology last night was fine. The apology itself isn't important. But he is indicating, I think, that he's going to go for a fix in December. They'll try to get the website up on November 30th. They'll claim it's working fine, even if it's working, semi-fine or at all. And then I think the dynamic of this debate will change in a pretty radical way. What was the dynamic a month or 6 weeks ago? Like me, we're saying, can't we delay parts of this thing for a year? No, absolutely not. This is the law of the land, Bill. Get used to it, man. It was passed by Congress, ratified by the Supreme Court.
He also said the shutdown was fine if we were going to hold people accountable.
I'm saying the voters ratified it. That was not a bad talking point, incidentally. Because if you're defending something, it's not bad to be able to say, hey, come on, get over it. Once he acknowledges there have to be fixes, whether it's more subsidies or whatever he wants, then we're in a genuine legislative debate. I think it's a very fluid moment. I'm not saying, I don't think it's necessarily, I think it's wise of the president to go in this direction, because I don't think he can stick to the talking point of 6 weeks ago anymore, which is, you're a critic of the plan, be quiet.
Well, look,
but I think it becomes a very fluid moment.
But aren't both sides both sides are now in the realm of reality, whereas before the Republican position was we have to defund the whole thing and we're going to shut down the government.
Which is never going to happen.
And the administration was absolutely no fixes. We're not changing it one detail.
It would have been terrible to delay the mandate.
At least now,
have a couple minutes
I'm just saying, at least now you're in the realm.
Where do we end up now?
At least now you're in the realm of two sides looking at legitimate fixes for a flawed law, and that's probably a better place. I don't think, but Bill, I think if you think that that's going to lead to getting rid of the entire thing altogether.
That'll take a couple of years. I think you could have much bigger modifications in the law 2, 3, 4 months from now than anyone thought possible a month from now.
What do you think?
Look, I think the big issue really is the healthcare website. And I think actually Democrats have been arguing for small fixes here and there throughout this process. The problem has always been Republicans have not even done small fixes. They've said, we're going to take the whole bill down. That has been the strategy of House Republicans from the get-go. If they come to the table and say, let's deal with the grandfather clause, I think there will be an actual, or making sure people can keep their health insurance, I think there will be an actual negotiation around that. And that's fine. I don't think the position should be there's no fixes to any law.
But I think Bill's point is that if all of a sudden you're changing what the requirements are for health care plans, which is what Eric Cantor was talking about in that bill, as to why people care, then other things might enter the conversation.
Taking something like the individual mandate, for example, there's 150,000 people who've signed up for health care now who get those premiums from the mandate. So switching something like that would raise people's premiums on the other side, too.
All right. Great.